It's a battle of two former Southeast Division rivals, two non-traditional hockey markets squaring off for Eastern Conference supremacy in the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers going in the 2023 Eastern Conference Final. He's Pete Blackburn. I'm Frank Seravalli of DailyFaceoff.com. Pete, these have been two of the best teams in the regular season over the last number of years. And who do you like in this series? Who's your X Factor?
I think this is going to be a razor-thin series here, and I think the margins are going to be pretty small. I'm going to lean Carolina because they are the more responsible team. They're the better defensive team, and I think that typically lends better to playoff success and longevity in the playoffs. So I'm going to lean Carolina slightly because Florida kind of thrives in chaos, right? They have a great offensive team. They thrive in chaos, and what's really kind of carried them is Sergei Bobrovsky in terms of solidifying that back end. We've seen that when the Florida Panthers get good goaltending, they're a pretty good team, but that hasn't been a certainty over the course of the last few years. Last year in the playoffs, this year during the regular season, now they've kind of flip-flopped. That's why my X factor is Sergei Bobrovsky, even though I am leaning Carolina. I think the Florida Panthers can win this series, but they're going to need playoff Bob to be the good playoff Bob. And I'm not totally confident in that happening because he is, for all intents and purposes, the biggest Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of goaltending in the entire NHL. And that switch can be flipped pretty quickly. So I don't have the utmost confidence in Sergei Bobrovsky. I'm willing to lend more confidence to Carolina being a very good, very responsible defensive team, and I think that puts them over the top.
Pete, I say it all the time, goaltending is the most fickle position in pro sports when it comes to the NHL. It's incredible what you get week to week, month to month, year to year, no matter what it is. Someone always seems to come back from the dead, and Sergei Bobrovsky, of course, has the pedigree. So can the Florida Panthers win this series? Of course they can. I see it much in the same way that you do, though, that the margin is going to be razor thin, and I'm going to go with the team that I said right from October. I picked the Carolina Hurricanes to be in the Stanley Cup final. They're a team that when you look at their depth, which they found, that to me is their X factor in this series, is going to get depth scoring. We talked about their scorers being out. They're getting a big one back in Teuvo Teravainen. Now, can they continue to get some contributions from others? Jordan Martinook, out of the clear blue sky, sets a Carolina Hurricanes franchise record for most points in a single season last round. Can he do that again? Even Jordan Martinook at the end of it was like, I don't know how that happened. Like, that's been the story of these playoffs for the Canes. They got Seattle Kraken-like depth scoring in round 2. Can they continue to get that? Because if so, their defense is so good. To me, the best defense core in these playoffs. I'm going Carolina Hurricanes in 7. I think defense wins. They're mobile. They are active in the play. Brent Burns has been a huge underrated storyline in these playoffs and his contribution, frankly, all season long for the Canes. So I'm going Canes in 7. You've got Canes in 6. Can't wait to see it all unfold. Game 1, puck drop, Thursday, 8 p.m.